Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a product review from some things that I've gotten from a company called Screencapped Leather and Hats. This is a company that's primarily run through Facebook. The fellow that runs it is named Brian Lalonde. He makes pretty much all of this stuff by hand. He can also modify products that you send to him, if that's what you prefer. But he's only been in business for a couple years, but I'm really pleased with the stuff that he's been doing. In fact, I've actually been using some of it in my movie. So, with that being said, let's get started here. The products he makes are primarily Indiana Jones related things. Gloves, belts, whip keepers, the straps for the Indiana Jones satchel, and then of course hats. So, with that being said, let's get started. The first product I want to show you are these gloves. These are the gloves worn by Indy in most of the action scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, Brian did not make these, however, he did wear them and distress them. And as you can see, they really look nice. The distressing on them is really cool, and I actually wear these for a few scenes in my movie that will hopefully be coming out next year. These gloves were only about 18 bucks. And I sent Brian my measurements, and they fit perfectly. So yeah, really happy with them. When you put on the Indy jacket, these look great with that jacket. Next product, we've got the Indy holster here, made out of some fantastic leather. I believe it's cowhide. Let me see if I can get a close-up angle here where you can see the stitching on it. There we go. Yeah, the stitching on this is immaculate. It looks really nice. This is the holster that I'll be using to house my new Smith & Wesson Indy gun, which you can see reviews for in other videos. The back of it, as well, has really nice stitching. It smells really nice too, and I love the color. The color on it is like spot on. Now, just for comparison purposes, this is the holster that I've been using. This is the one I've actually been using to shoot my movie with. As you can see, it's been getting scuffed up quite a bit because I've been doing all my own action stunts. This one is for a 5-inch barrel because my last Indy gun, if you've been watching my other videos, was a Smith & Wesson Victory 38, and it had a 5-inch barrel on it instead of the 4-inch barrel that Indy's gun has. So this one was custom made to fit that gun. As you can see, it's got rivets on the back rather than the stitching, and it only has one hole here instead of two, which is screen accurate to the movies. So this one is technically less screen accurate than Brian's, and it costs just as much. I got this one from Steele & Jones. Oh, nope, that is wrong. I got this from a company called Make It Jones from the UK. And I got that, I don't know, 5 years ago. I've had this one for quite a while. But this one was $80. Brian's is also $80. But it's got the two holes here. And the stitching is nicer. And it's actually got the stitching on the back rather than the cop-out with the rivets. So for the same price, you're getting a better holster. All you got to do is tell him the barrel length that you want, and he'll make one of these for you. I just asked for a standard Smith & Wesson 4-inch barrel, and it fits in there like a glove. Love it to death. Now, I don't have any belts or straps or anything like that from Brian. The leather products that I've shown you already are the only ones that I own, but I am very happy with them, and I am confident that his other products are just as good. So let's move on to the hats. This is my Indiana Jones Last Crusade pure beaver felt hat that I got from Brian. I've had this hat for about 3 months, something like that. Really, really like it. It's the only hat that I've been missing from my collection of the last Crusade. I've got pretty much every other Indiana Jones hat out there from any scene in any of the films, and those have all been made by Penman. This was the first hat that I bought from Brian, and I gotta say, I'm really, really happy with it. It is 100% pure beaver, and the crown and bash and everything on it, the brim, I love it. It's perfect. And I told Brian I was a 23-inch head, and just like that, he got me a hat that fits perfectly. Let me move around here so you can see the hat from different angles. And again, this hat is also completely handmade. Get a little bit closer here. You can see it's got the nice lining on the inside. And the hat band also, the stitching on that is immaculate. Let's see if I can get a nice view of that there. This hat runs about $275. Sometimes you can get a nice deal on them and get them for a little bit less. But I want to show you a comparison of my other hats. Everybody that watches this channel knows what a huge hat guy I am. So I am very, very picky about my hats. And since I got this hat, it's pretty much been the only hat that I've worn because I love it so much. So that's saying something right there. But for comparison's sake, this is a Penman Advintage Legacy. This is my wife's hat. John Penman made this for her as a gift. Very, very nice gift. For those of you that follow Penman, this is the top-of-the-line hat. It goes for somewhere around $500 right now, I believe. But this is, in my opinion, the best hat in the world that you can buy right now. I mean, yeah, you're going to pay for it, but it is absolutely incredible. Also has the nice liner and really, really nice stitching. However, sorry, the kid wanted out. However, stitching between this hat and Brian's hat, almost the same. In fact, I can't tell the difference. Now, maybe some of you can, but I can't, and I consider myself a pretty big hat guy. So that's saying something right there. As far as the feel of this hat, this is also a 100% pure beaver hat. The feel of this hat, I ain't gonna lie, the feel of this hat is better than the feel on this hat. However, I do feel that this hat is very, very competitive, especially at the price point. You've got a $275 hat here and a $500 hat here. And I mean, look at them. They look, from the look of them, they look pretty much the same. I mean, if two different people were walking down the street wearing these two hats, I would not be able to tell the difference which is which. This is a Temple of Doom hat, by the way, which is why the shape and the crown and the brim and things are a little bit different than this one. But that being said, I mean, you've got $275 here, $500 here. So, you know, you can really, you know, pick and choose at that point what you want in a hat. For those of you following this channel, I'm building a tiny home right now, and I can no longer afford $500 hats. And for $275, I feel this is probably the best hat on the market right now for the value that you're going to get for it. I mean, it's just a great, great hat. A friend of mine, James, also just bought one. He bought the Raiders version, and he loves his hat too. I mean, these are just great hats. So, I was so happy with that hat that I decided to buy a second. I'd been looking at a Humphrey Bogart Casablanca Maltese Falcon type of hat. So I contacted Brian and I was like, can you make this hat? And he's like, yeah, I think so. I'd never made anything like that before because he primarily specializes in indie hats. But I asked if he would make this hat specially for me, and he did. And this is it. This is the Humphrey Bogart hat. I just got this from Brian a few weeks ago, and it is incredible. We're going to take a look at the crown bash here. For those of you that like Bogart, that the crown bash is like spot on. Just looks really, really good. And then the brim is just perfect. And then of course it's got the lining on the inside like the other one, and the stitching like the other one. So we won't spend a whole lot of time there because inside they're pretty much identical. But you got the ribbon on the side there. I mean, I just feel that this is a perfect Bogart hat. People can debate about the shade of this hat all day long because all Bogart films where he wore this hat were black and white. I know some of them have been colorized and things like that, but the actual black and white hat, you can't tell really what the shade is. Some people would argue that this one is too dark. I actually wanted one that was a little bit darker than what you see in some scenes from the Bogart films, just because I wanted something that went really well with a black suit or the trench coat. And there are some scenes in the Bogart films where I feel the hat is just a little bit too light. But as you can see in the lighting on this one, it's pretty much spot on from that end scene of Casablanca. And that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. And then again, 23 inches. And it fits great. This hat I got on a deal that Brian was having, and I got it for $250. And it is also 100% pure beaver. I'm kind of a beaver stickler with my hats. Rabbit is good, but beaver is better. So anyway, those are all the products I have bought from Brian so far. But I gotta say, I'm really, really impressed with every single one of them. Some of these are going to be appearing in my next indie film that I'm already working on. And then, of course, this one I wear around town when I'm wearing my my trench coat. Just really, really good products. I can't say enough good things about these products, and I want to give a shout out to Brian, saying thank you for all your hard work on them and everything that you've done for the Indiana Jones community. You've just really, really raised the bar for the average Joe that can't afford the high-end hats. These hats are just incredible. I mean, I don't know what else to say about them. But anyway, yeah, if you're in the market for an indie hat or anything else like you've seen in this video, go ahead and hit up Brian. Again, the company's name is Screencapped Leather and Hats, and you can find them on Facebook. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.